welcome back to Pia Talks, and today we are talking The Real Housewives of New York, Season 12, Episode 8. Leah and LuAnn meet up for lunch, and Leah has just had it. She says she is trying to recover from that trip to the orchard, and she says was an entire shit show, and it really was. She said the way that Sonja, Ramona, and Dorinda acted was absolutely ridiculous. Then they showed footage of them leaving the orchard and Sonja throwing up on the bus, right close to Tinsley. Tinsley's like, oh no. I mean, the behavior is out of control with these women, especially in public places. Leah said, listen, honey, I like crazy. And she's proved it. She likes crazy. She said, but that orchard trip was bad crazy. She cannot understand what the hell is going on. She said they are doing way too much. Leah said what we've all been saying. I'm assuming that you're saying it. She says that she can understand Dorinda going through the pain of losing her husband, the breakup with John. But what she can't understand are the constant attacks on Tinsley. And I think we've all said that. Why are you so hard on this girl? Like, everyone knows that Tinsley can sometimes do stuff or say stuff that drives people crazy, but everybody does. Everybody in the world does something to somebody that drives them crazy. But that doesn't mean you should attack them whenever you get the opportunity. LuAnn agrees. She says that she has also noticed that Dorinda has a lot of judgments that she places upon Tinsley, and she doesn't know why either. And she feels like they should definitely try to get to the bottom of it. And then Tinsley shows up to meet the girls for lunch as well. LuAnn tells Tinsley, she says she believes that some of the problem between her and the rest of the girls is the fact of how she reacts to their comments or to the attack by screeching with that annoying pitch that she does every time. LuAnn says everybody gets really upset because Tinsley is screeching and yelling like she does, and that it's extremely annoying, which I have to agree. I think that the delivery from LuAnn could have been a little different, but I agree with LuAnn, and at least she's telling her the truth. She's saying it to her face and not behind her back. Tinsley does have a high-pitched yell, and she does it a lot. Like I said before, I usually do not take well to new housewives, but Leah has come in and stole my heart. This girl is something else. She said it like everybody has been thinking.
We need to talk about what the real issue is.
What's the real issue?
Tinsley was born into the life that Dorinda puts on this pedestal of...
Meaning she can't relate to being born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
I've been saying that. I've said it before. I absolutely agree. Dorinda is absolutely jealous of Tinsley's life. I think that Dorinda feels that with the life that Tinsley has been born into, she's not living it the way Dorinda wants her to, which is the thing. Dorinda, that's not your business or your life. Tinsley has to live Tinsley's life. Dorinda has to live Dorinda's life. I mean, you can't just sit around and try to be upset and treat this girl like crap because you don't agree with how she lives her life. I also agree with what LuAnn said.
You scream like a child having a tantrum, and that doesn't
you said
work.
There's a lack of respect,
That's it. That's what I do.
Well, that is part of the problem. You have to stop acting like a child so much. And Leah also mentioned you have to stand up to these people. You cannot bow down and act baby-like. You've got to tell her, bitch, stay out my business. Tinsley stands up to Dorinda one good time. Dorinda will know that Dorinda will know not to test Tinsley anymore. Let it go. At the same time that Tinsley, Leah, and LuAnn are at lunch, Ramona, Dorinda, and Sonja are at a workout class. After the workout, they decided that they were going to sit down and have a little conversation, and Dorinda says, oh, the orchard was wonderful yesterday. What orchard was she at yesterday? Was there a second trip yesterday when she went back to the orchard with some people that she likes? Because no, that was not beautiful yesterday. Maybe the actual orchard was beautiful, but that trip was not beautiful, where people climb up and tear up the trees, where people pee on the corn, where people are screaming and hollering and drinking too much wine and talking about using wine as lubricant in front of these people. That wasn't beautiful. Whew, beautiful. Dorinda and Ramona let Sonja know that they're a little concerned about her behavior and the drinking. And she says, yes, I know. I really need to watch my drinking and my behavior in public. Ramona says, you were really very aggressive, very loud, very flirtatious, and you were not in control of your actions. And she says, yeah, I know. You know, I'm going to get better with this. I'm going to control this. And I'm thinking, how many seasons of this have you been doing? I mean, at what point are you going to do something about this? Like, stop drinking. Limit yourself to 1 drink, maybe 2 drinks. At this point, it's as if LuAnn and Sonja should switch spots. Like, LuAnn should have a drink and Sonja should stop. It's really just, it's an odd flip-flop right now. And Sonja looks so different this season than she did last season. Last season, when she was eating different and she wasn't drinking, she looked clear. She was acting a little better. And this season, she just looks unhealthy. Dorinda says she doesn't like how Tinsley plays the victim. And I'm thinking, really? Tinsley, she is the victim when it comes to you. I mean, my gosh, let it go. Ramona was on point.
I really wish at this point Dorinda could just let it go with Tinsley. I don't see Tinsley as a victim. I see Dorinda victim of Tinsley. That's what I see.
I mean,
Shady, Ramona.
well, you know what? I understand you're frustrated, but I take a step back, right? So, I don't know. Someone just didn't give her the right tools.
I think Ramona was right. She says that she doesn't believe that Tinsley is emotionally or mentally in a place that she should be for her age. And Tinsley, being 44 years old, throwing temper tantrums, crying, and responding and acting like she does seem to not be on the 44-year-old woman's level. But Tinsley doesn't hurt anybody. You know, she's living her life. And, you know, Ramona mentions that, you know, maybe it's just how she was raised or how she was brought up. And seeing her with Dale, I believe so. However, it's her life. And she says that Dorinda is victimizing Tinsley, which is true. And I just think no matter what her mental or emotional stability is, if she's not hurting you and she's living her life, leave her alone. I don't know what the hell the world has come to when I am agreeing with Ramona. When do I ever agree with Ramona? Oh my gosh, this season so far, Ramona has had a few little insights and I'm like, look at you, Ramona. Most times I can't stand the woman. I hate to even talk about this. Dorinda goes to visit her life coach, Dr. Daryl. And personally, I think that if she's going to go to a life coach, she needs to go to a life coach that specializes in grief counseling, because most of her situation that's going on right now is due to grief. The loss of Richard, the loss of John, the Bluestone Manor flooding out. And, you know, she explains that with the flood, she lost a lot of memories and everything that was in the basement of her and Richard. And now she has to go through all of that stuff. And it's even more devastating because she's going through it and most of it is destroyed. And she is angry about it. So she's taking all of her anger out on Tinsley. She tells Dr. Daryl that she just wants Tinsley to be the best she can be. Well, if you want her to be the best she can be, yelling and attacking her is not the way to go about it. I mean, girl, relax. Tinsley is not your daughter. And she's not your responsibility. Dr. Daryl tells her that you don't have to have confrontations with this lady. You don't have to be rude to her. Just be cordial. We'll see. She thinks that the best thing for her to do is to be more focused on herself and be mindful of herself than others. I don't agree with that at all. I think that she has been focusing her anger and her hurt on Tinsley. Oh, Dorinda, what are you going to do? Leah sets up a spa day at the Russian Bathhouse and restaurant downtown for the girls. Now, when she said downtown, you already knew that was going to be an issue. These bougie bitches, honey, they do not leave the Upper East Side. You know, Dorinda said in the car on the way over there, she only goes downtown for court, birth certificates, death certificates. She does not come downtown. It is nothing down there that she is interested in. Sonja said, oh man, it's the land of graffiti down here. Sonja, nobody was happy about it. Nobody was, even Tinsley. Tinsley shows up. The woman offers her a lockbox so that she could put her personal belongings in to keep safe. Tinsley says, oh no, I keep my stuff with me. She said, this is mine. I'm going to keep it. Tinsley said, I don't trust you people with my stuff. Nope. The place was pretty cute. You know, you could tell that it's been around a long time, but the girls were not feeling it. Ramona came in, they offered her the box, and she gives the lady her watch. She said, this is Cartier. Okay, keep it safe. I mean, Tinsley was totally offended by it. LuAnn brings up the fact that her and Tinsley and Leah met up when she was in the car with Dorinda, and Dorinda said, oh, I'm sure it was about me. And she says, oh yes, we were trying to figure out a way to approach you about this Tinsley situation. She says, and Leah thinks that Tinsley should just come at you straight gangsta. And she said, that's because Leah really knows me. We think alike. We get along really well. She says, I really like her. She says she's a good person. She's a good mom. So it seems that Dorinda really likes Leah, which I'm glad. They've come a long way from them stamp tramp horrible comments and jokes. Dorinda says that she just can't get with Tinsley living in this fantasy world that she lives in. Tinsley's life does seem a little fantasy, a little fairy tale, but as I said before, that's her life. It's not yours. Go live your real world life, Dorinda. Ramona says that the Russian Bathhouse restaurant, she said, it's a little rustic for her taste. It's not exactly what she's used to. And I am assuming that, you know, she is definitely used to the Upper East Side 5-star accommodations. She is not used to being downtown, which, you know, I don't know if this place for her is a 3-star or what. It had its charm. When Dorinda and LuAnn got to the place, they said, wow. Oh, wow. These ladies are shady as hell. They are a mess. So, you know, it's time for Ramona's shady moment. They're getting ready to go to the steam room. Ramona is rubbing lotion on her chest and bosom area, and she explains to them that she wants to keep that area calm and smooth. She says Sonja has all those crepey little lines and it's all smushy and stuff right there. And she says it just looks horrible. I thought Sonja was your girl. You know, like, who does that? Instead of giving Sonja some of that cream and explaining to her that she'd like to see hers continue to look youthful, you're just going to talk about her in front of everybody and rub your cream on, which was a little odd. Come on, Ramona, do better. Soon as Sonja gets with all the girls, she's like, oh, Lord. Like, she is just not feeling this place. And the rest of the girls, you know, they weren't really feeling it, but they were taking everything in stride. My thing is, Leah set this up for you guys. It looks like she paid for it, and she's just doing something nice. Why can't you guys just go with the flow and not make rude comments? And with all the crazy shade comments that Sonja was throwing, I'm like, Sonja, when you got there and you realized where it was, why didn't you just take your ass home? So the next treatment they had was some kind of palm leaves treatment where they, you know, beat your body with these leaves or whatever. And there was 2 men, which the ladies thought were handsome men. They were super excited. And Leah said she has never seen such horny women. She said they are way more DTF than her, which you know what that means, right? LuAnn and Ramona were the first to get beat down with these leaves. They were just doing a lot. They really were. And Sonja said beating down with those leaves hurt just a little bit. However, she said it was a little bit sexual too. So she's thinking that she may be interested in a little S&M. Sonja, Lord have mercy. The whole time Tinsley is looking on grossed out. I mean, she has a look on her face like she is grossed out and disgusted. So they said, Tinsley, it's your turn. She said, no, I have allergies. She says, I have the allergies. I can't. I don't know what kind of leaves those are. And I don't know, if I could be allergic to those. I said, that was good. That was good, Tinsley. It really was. I mean, this way you don't hurt anybody's feelings. Blame it on the allergies. So after the leaf treatment, they're offered foot rubs. The man says that they need to lay down on their stomach for this foot rub. Dorinda said, what kind of foot rub is this where I need to be on my stomach? She said, oh no, there's something sneaky about this. I'm not falling for the foot rub over on my stomach trick again. She said, last time I did that, I ended up with Hannah. That was funny. They head over to have a little lunch, and Ramona invites all the girls for a trip to Newport, Rhode Island for a couple of days. And Leah says, wait a minute now. She said, we need to be discussing what happened on our last trip before we start talking about going to Rhode Island. And I said to myself, wait a minute, another trip with LuAnn? How are you going to pick which room she gets? How are we going to accommodate Princess LuAnn? I mean, she just puts up too much. I think if they go to Rhode Island, just let the woman have whatever room she wants, because otherwise the trip is going to be ruined, because the whole time she's going to be complaining about her room. Leah brings up the situation at the orchard. She lets everybody know that it was just a shit show pretty much. And she wanted them to acknowledge it. Nobody says anything pretty much. Dorinda stands up and says, I acknowledge it. Dorinda says that she got upset because of the comments that Tinsley made about John, which was not a big deal. I don't know why she got so upset about it, but Ramona jumped in and she says, I don't want you to be mad at me. She says, because I love you and I respect you. But when you get upset with somebody, you attack them and you go for the jugular. Like, you hit them with all these low blows that you know is going to upset the person. Dorinda did what all bullies do. She deflected and said, oh, you should know because you do the same thing too. And then they went on this montage of times that Dorinda has stepped out of line and said some comments that she shouldn't have. They threw in a few of Ramona's too. Dorinda says, remember that time that you brought up John possibly texting somebody else? You didn't have to do that. And especially in front of people. You should have just pulled me to the side. Now here's where it starts to get a little crazy too. Sonja decides she wants to jump in. She was like, oh yeah, you do that, Ramona. You do go for the jugular sometimes. Sonja, sit there in silence. Ramona says, what about the time you brought up LuAnn's mugshot? That was pretty bad. It really was. Ramona had a comment that was on point as well. She says, you don't want to recognize your own faults, so you like to turn it around and put everything on somebody else. Sometimes you have to take responsibility and accountability for your actions. And LuAnn had a comment that was on point too.
Instead of listening and hearing us, Dorinda just goes for Ramona or whoever she can in order to deflect situations, so it's all about somebody else and not about her. She is not hearing what we say.
LuAnn hit the nail on the head. Got to get it together, Dorinda. Tinsley jumps into this and tells Dorinda that she respects her and she doesn't judge her, and she just wished that Dorinda would do the same. Dorinda also tells her that she respects her and she doesn't judge her, which is not true. But she says it and they decide to squash it, which it's not over. They, of course, make nice and enjoy the rest of the day, but it's not over. We get the opportunity to meet Leah's sister, Sarah, she looks like Leah just with darker hair. And Leah tells her when she gets to her apartment that she's dating some guy that she's calling Pita Chip. So there's a guy that she's dating that owns a pita company, restaurant, something like that, which is pretty popular. She says that he's got, a lot of money or whatever. And she sends him a sexy picture of her wearing nothing but a pita over her vajayjay. And the guy tries to send it off to one of his friends, but accidentally sends it to her. And she was a little upset by it, but she's still dating him. That is an absolute hell no, we are done, childish, immature thing to do. You are going to send this picture to one of your friends? What? Who knows where the hell that picture could have ended up? That's not okay. She says that she thinks that he just made a bad decision, but that he's a gentleman. I don't think he's a gentleman. A gentleman would not forward your nudes to somebody else. Her sister says she went to visit their parents for the weekend and that it was just stressful. She said, with the situation between Leah and her mom, her sister says, pretty much you share too much with mom. You really do. She says, I don't share as much with her like that. She said, and I think you need to stop doing that. She also told her that she needs to pick up the phone. She said, call mom and talk to mom about mom and stop making everything all about you all the time. It's okay to share with your parents. Believe me, I want my son to tell me everything. But if you know that your mom can't handle knowing it, don't tell her. Oh, Ramona has a little cocktail conversation party at her house for all of her good girlfriends. Everybody's showing up, one at a time. Elisa gets there and she's admiring Ramona's new apartment. And she asked her if she had condoms in her drawer. Ramona says no. Elisa goes and opens Ramona's drawers. That is a hell no in my home. If I tell you no, don't go pulling drawers open unless you're in the kitchen. Now in the kitchen, you can open all the drawers. You can grab something out the refrigerator and have whatever you want. But don't go to my bedroom searching my drawers. She's back out and she says, I can't believe you don't have any condoms. And Ramona says, well, I did have condoms. She said, but, I'm not dating that guy anymore. Sometimes he needed more than he came with. And, all the girls, how they like to talk a little nasty or whatever. So it was kind of cute, but still, stay the hell out of people's drawers. So Sonja shows up. Now this is where she is so out of line. Sonja shows up and she says, hey, I've got that dress, the one you couldn't zip up, the one you couldn't fit. Here you go. I brought it in a large. You should be able to wear this one. She said, I tried it on. And Ramona says, well, if you can fit it, I can fit it. She says, well, I actually wear a medium. In front of all these people. Oh my gosh, are you really putting me on Front Street letting everybody know that I couldn't fit that dress? Girl, stop it. So then Dorinda shows up and Ramona says, oh my gosh. She said, I hope she brought the old happy Dorinda and left that new Dorinda at home. I don't want any mess. Dorinda shows up and Sonja says,
you look beautiful.
I gave Ramona a dress that I had given her in a medium, but she needed a large, so I brought the large.
Oh, good.
I was so upset.
When we were at the spa, in the locker room, Ramona tells me that I need to lose at least 10 pounds.
It was ridiculous. Next thing you know, this triggers Dorinda. You didn't have my back down there at the spa. You should have stuck by me. And if you want to say something about me or my behavior or something, you should have pulled me to the side. Why would you talk like that in front of all these people?
Tells her she needs to lose weight.
I was upset after that.
She cried to me all night.
I just
this
did
woman
5-day
empowerment.
juice.
I think what you love to do is do well, but not better than me. You want always to run, take the best, get the best. The way you run
Do you
around,
think
you're
nuts?
now I'm in
You
a
are
bad
so
place yesterday,
nuts.
and you bring up something from
well,
2 years
don't be
ago.
better than me.
You're like, well, you and Kurt to hang you with LuAnn. You're supposed to be my friend.
That was 17
and it had
diarrheas
nothing
ago.
to do with it. And I need you always
I
to
said
support
to
me.
you,
And
I
that's
do
how I live.
support
No,
you.
you don't.
You lashed out at everybody.
See this? I'm back with
Excuse me.
LuAnn. This is a woman.
You said
that's
talk
dumping at the
alone.
angel,
Talk
but I don't
alone.
wanna talk alone.
Well, then that's what you accuse me of. You go,
I'm
you
gonna
have
do
something to
what
say.
you did
Talk
now.
alone. It's your
I'm
anniversary
sorry
coming
you
up.
can't
I'm
land
so
a
sorry.
boulder. I'm sorry, there's been so many men in your life that have come and gone and you can't land
Oh my
a
God,
boulder.
this is you know what? I think you should just leave. Just leave. Just
I
leave.
want to leave.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you are telling her off in front of all these people. You haven't pulled her to the side at all. I mean, the craziness, the hits just kept coming. So they went through all of this bull to end up out in the damn hallway, screaming and hollering. Elise says, wait a minute now. Come back in the house. I mean, this is the Upper East Side. Y'all are out here in the hall screaming and hollering. These neighbors are about to report you. I mean, it was just a lot. First of all, Dorinda, cut it out. Ramona asked Dorinda to leave, which was the nicest get the hell out of my house that she could, because I would have threw her the hell up out of my house. She was dragging Ramona for filth in her home in front of all these people. What happened to pull me to the side? It was ridiculous. There is no way in hell that I would deal with Dorinda and Sonja jumping in, throwing in her 2 cents. Both of those bitches would be exiled from the apartment, and I wouldn't communicate with them for a while. I mean, they have had over 20-year friendships. Something is wrong with both Dorinda and Sonja. The behavior is ridiculous. In the end, they end up hugging it out, coming back into the apartment. I love you. We're friends. Oh, I love you. I mean, stop it. I can't with these people. They have irritated the shit out of me. But I can tell you that next week's preview looks like it is going to be lit. It looks like Leah is going to be lit the hell up like a damn Christmas tree, and I am here for it. And if you want to be here for it with me, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content. And until next time, bye.